Welcome, I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on weird and mysterious stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Case file number 785, written by Oscillating Ball Product. Error, cannot load object. This happened after work. I was changing out of my EMT pants, which have this small pocket on the leg, kind of down by the calf. I keep my personals in that pocket, so chapstick, my earbuds, which are wireless and in a case, and a microfiber cloth for cleaning my glasses. I folded my EMT pants up and then realized I forgot to grab my earbuds case. I had one earbud in my ear already, out of the pocket. I kind of thought to myself that I'm a dumbass because it's a pain to find the pocket and then pull anything out of it once my pants are off my body, but whatever. I found the pocket, and I know I was in the right pocket because I felt my microfiber and my chapstick, but I didn't feel my earbuds case. Keep in mind, this is a really small pocket. Like only my fingers fit in all the way, and my earbud case usually fills up most of the pocket. I thought to myself, damn it, I must have forgotten to put the case back in my pocket, and now it's in the ambulance cabin somewhere. I was about to throw on a pair of shorts to go look in the ambulance when I thought to myself, well, I guess I should probably grab my microfiber cloth since I have the pocket pulled out already. I stuck my hand back in the pocket and bam, there was my earbud case, as well as my microfiber and chapstick still. Like I said, not crazy, but I'm convinced my earbud case just failed to load the first time. There was no space for it to hide. Case notes for file 785. Error. Cannot load object. So again, this represents the fact that there are, I think, two different types of disappearing object phenomena. One where entities are taking stuff from us, and one where the universe is simply phasing objects out of our dimension or just not rendering them at all, like in a video game. It would explain why objects return sometimes, and sometimes right away. It was just a glitch from the universe itself, and other times it's an entity, whereas you can actually ask them to return the object and they'll return it. So that seems to be what's going on here. There's entities involved from other dimensions, I guess. And then also the universe just isn't completely perfect. Not as perfect as it tries to maintain a presence of. Case file number 786. Written by lamwg. The Well-Brewed and Bubbly Glitch. I've been going over and over in my head to make sure this wasn't a hallucination or other explainable thing. I already have exhausted my options. 2 years ago, me and my girl moved to a different city and rented a room in a shared house. It was a very small room, just space for a closet, a bed, a table, and one of those small fridges. Don't know if you got a word for it in English. After a few months there, the virus had hit, and one of the times I went out to buy supplies, I also bought, of course, 4 beers. I put all 4 in our small fridge. I opened one, she opened one. I finished first and got my other one in the fridge. I don't remember if the thing had happened by then or not. And then she asked me to get another one for her shortly after. To my surprise, when I opened the fridge again, absolutely no beers were there. It should have one, hers. The fridge was empty. We used the main fridge downstairs for other stuff we wouldn't use soonish. So it was easy to see that there was literally no beer or nothing in there. I asked her to look at me. She was pissed off at first, thinking I had drank hers too. Then she confirmed that she wasn't seeing the beer either. I went over the store receipt, 4 beers, I didn't miscount. I looked everywhere around the room. She helped as well. We only found 3 empty bottles. She took a picture of the empty fridge and sent it to a friend who replied, "Yep, nothing there." So maybe hallucination is off the table. We went to sleep that night. She left soon to work. Essential worker and restrictions were also not that bad yet. I worked from home, so I stayed in the room all day, even checked the fridge again just in case she was trying to prank me. Nothing there. Went out to meet her by the station and also bought one more thing for the meal I'd cooked that I'd forgotten the day before. I also bought some yogurt, and when I went upstairs, opened the small fridge to store the yogurts, what the hell do I see? The freaking lost beer. To this day, I have absolutely no idea what the hell happened. If it was a glitch, have the beer entered a multiverse for some hours and got back? Was it all in our heads? It was absurdly weird to experience, especially for me being a very skeptical person. Case notes for file 786, a well-brewed and bubbly glitch. I'm quite convinced that the universe is a simulation of some sort. However, running the simulation, because there's so much detail in the universe, would be incalculably complex. Even with all the computational power that the real world might offer, I think there are certain liberties and technical wizardry that has to be involved for it to appear as seamless as it does. For instance, there's rare occasions where people report that the sun just blips out or they can't hear anything at the same time. Sort of like all the simulation just fails to process for a tiny amount of time. Like the servers running the simulation are needed elsewhere for some other task, at least for a tiny amount of time by our perspective. It's almost like a memory leak occurs and RAM has to be cleared and reset. Hell, maybe even entire server crashes occur, but our memories are wiped, and that could be responsible for déjà vu to some extent. Case file number 787, written by My Theme, 1949. The pirates in our neighborhood mysteriously vanished. We moved into our home last year. A small, fairly new property with an odd layout that's out of character with the other houses around, most being quite old. Family and friends are not keen on the house, but we like it. There's a certain quirky charm. We have this long, thin, overgrown garden at the back. To the right is our neighbor's garden, tidy and a lot wider. To our left, we went back to the end of 3 other gardens, these houses being on the next street but backing onto ours. A few weeks ago, after a storm, while repairing the damage to a couple of fence panels, I realized something. Now, there seemed to be only 2 houses to the left. It was a strange feeling. Maybe we miscounted? The thing is, we remember details about the house that is no longer there. The houses are or were attached. One end house belongs to an old couple, keen on gardening. The other end to a solitary older man with an aggressive dog. The middle house, the one that vanished, belonged to a family with teenage children. We remember noticing their old pirate-themed playhouse, complete with a flag, when we first came to view our home. Sometimes, we would see the older son playing on his computer from our upstairs window. Now we cannot even see his window, just a large tree obscuring the view growing in the corner of the gardening couple's property. The missing house had a trampoline in the garden. Before we could see standing in the middle of ours was a small yappy dog often running about, all gone. The 2 houses left are still attached. Each has several large trees growing in the gardens. We don't remember there being quite so many. The solitary older man's garden now seems too wide compared to his neighbors. It doesn't affect us, it's just slightly unsettling and kinda cool in an odd way. Case notes for file 787. The pirates in our neighborhood mysteriously vanished. So I read further in the thread, and you do mention that the neighbors you talk to and you just ask about the history of the area, if they, also remember a house being there that isn't there anymore, pirate themed, without directly mentioning it, because obviously you don't want to seem crazy. I get that. One thing that's possible is that the storm was actually more deadly than you think, and there wasn't just minor damage. Maybe this is a quantum immortality from your whole family. You suffered through a storm that was devastating, and you all died, and now you're in a different universe. And in this universe, there is a big change in that this pirate-themed home isn't there. That's quite sad. I don't want to miss a pirate-themed home. That's awesome. I want that.